Hello and welcome to another guide. This time is the second part of Idle Shalltear guide, and this is the practical part. That means that I'm gonna go here to the arena, to the combat arena that recently got reseated on the season, so everyone is starting all over again, and face different teams and different enemy compositions with themes and compositions based around Idle Shelter or that have some kind of synergy with Idle Shelter in this case. So, in case that someone did it out the first part of the guide, the theoretical part, the parts that usually last like an entire hour of me, rambling about the characters and their combos and so. To keep it short, the different themes, sorry, I'm gonna be showing here are uh, very similar one to another and so, but they all have some kind of synergy with her. The first one is gonna be the turn meter manipulation team, and that might be a kind of like a tricky team to have because it requires certain characters that not everyone has. Of course, aside of idle shelter, it includes the SSR solution, this one right here. Also includes for the ones that have normal mare, and upgraded, of course, upgraded as much as they can. If you have his arc light, even better, because that is what puts him in this team, the arc light. And it may have, depending on your preference, as a tank, either Hamuske, the tank version, or Sisita, the tank version. If you want, an entire team that manipulates the turn meter in two different ways, one by throwing back the enemy's turn meter, and two by boosting their own turn meter. In that case, it will be better the Hamuske because it can throw the enemy's turn meter back twice, one with an active skill, and a second time when it's a 5 stars after using the ultimate and getting all of her shield wall stacks depleted. She can throw the second skill automatically and throw the enemy turn meter back again. Or it can also include characters like Valkyrie Shalltear that can use her second skill, the Purifying Javelin at 5 stars, to reduce the target's turn meter 20% upon hitting. So you can choose someone to throw back. If you do not have character like Mare, for example, with the arc line, so you can also add characters like Nigredo. She will not exactly make the enemy's turn meter go back, but she will boost her own turn meter by 20 and 30% every time the enemies that have the gaze debuff that she puts every time they move. And if she ults someone with gaze, she will gain 30% extra turn meter boost. Also, say she can be in that composition, she can steal 30% of the turn meter boost of one enemy with her ultimate, stunning that enemy, and not only that, but constantly stealing speed from the enemies so they move slower and she moves faster. You could use any of those characters to, make your own turn meter manipulation team. And if you don't like that, you can have a more, uh, traditional magical damage team with Tank Sisita because she lowers the enemy's defense by 15%, and with her ultimate she makes the enemies take 20% more magical damage. With Big Team, because Big Team adds extra damage, extra attack to his allies based on his HP missing and the attack that he has, and if he dies, the bonification doubles up. Not only that, but if you have him at 6 stars and so, he will also give high tier damage boost to himself and the ally with the highest attack. Also, of course, it will be Idle Shelter, Tank Sisita, Big Team. You could add, for example, Normal Albedo, also known as Mage Albedo, the original you gain here when you start the game. And mostly because of her Arc Light effect. Her Arc Light effect makes her deal extra damage to the enemies with her ultimate for each extra debuff they have. That means that the more debuffs the enemy has, the stronger her ultimate becomes. And this is gonna be really, really nice because Big Team is gonna be able to put from 1 to 3 debuffs depending on what skill you choose. Tank Sisita is gonna be able to put 2 or 3 debuffs depending on if her taunt was successful or not with her ultimate. Not only that, but then you have Idol Shalltear to deal even more damage, specifically with the ultimate. And if, yeah, it's true, she might not put any debuff with the ultimate. If you choose to throw her second skill, that will be another debuff. So what happens is that you're putting multiple debuffs, and then your Albedo is gonna deal extra damage. And she can put healing healing reduction and burn another 2 debuffs. So if the first hit actually puts the debuffs, she's boosting her own damage. But if you don't like, for example, using that Albedo, or if you don't have big team or something like that, you could replace them with SSR solution. You could replace them with SR Entoma using her ultimate, her arc light, and her second skill to deal magical damage in an area of effect. You can also use the Merge, the normal one, the classical, for more area of effect magical damage that is based on burn. You could also go and use other mages that you may have and you don't, utilize quite as much, like SR, sorry, not only the SR Narberal for area of effect, shock damage, and so you have a magical damage team that you can choose from using only SSR characters or mix them with SR characters. You have a turn meter manipulation team that you can also choose from a variety of different characters that are both based on physical and magical damage. And then you could use, for example, a stalling team or a buffers team. A stalling team will be using characters that are very, very tanky or that are very good or excel at buying time. That might include characters like the Robo Hamuske, because she puts a ton of defense on all of her allies, and it's very, very difficult to get through that defense. It may include characters like Tank Kokyutos because of his Indomitable to himself, making him hard to kill, and at 6 stars, the Indomitable to one ally, potentially making Idol Shalltear immune to, one combo from just bursting her and taking her down. It might include characters like Valkyrie Shalltear with, her damage sharing, making everyone tankier on her team, the healings that she offers with both her passive, on the basic attack, the Vampire's Hand, or her ultimate healing. It could also include characters like Tank Albedo, constantly taunting the enemy, controlling them so they don't have a turn to hurt your damage dealers. It may include characters like Anniversary Albedo because of her Indomitable, of her 2 invulnerabilities, her shields, her healings, and all of that. Can also include other characters like Pandora's Actor or Pestonia. Pandora's Actor to constantly buff, your top damage dealer, in this case Shalltear. Pestonia to restore her ultimate and give her more turn meter boost so she plays faster and more often. Big Team can go in the buffers team, because of his passive. Not only that, you can also put tanks like SR Lupus Regina to give everyone an incredibly high boost on effect resistance, or the Platinum Armor, so he puts the War Isolating Barrier and tanks a few hits from time to time. And also with the second skill, he's gonna make guard and support effects to protect, in this case, Shalltear. So you have a variety of characters. SR Yuri can go there as well. So you, from the team's set, and what I'm gonna show you here, if you are upgrading her or you're thinking that she may be worth the upgrades or not, you're gonna see that she works in area of effect teams that are magical damage based, or that are turn meter manipulation teams. She can also work in a buffers team, 3 characters based around just upgrading her, giving her buffs and advantages, or a stalling team. A stalling team, to protect her, not to necessarily buff her, like Pandora's Actor will do, for example, but to protect her with shields, with healings, with barriers, so she doesn't die, and she has all the time in the world to kill the enemies. Those are the teams that you're gonna be seeing me using here on the arena mode, and maybe against the bosses of the map. So, That will be all. I wanted to explain a little bit each team so you know what to expect. And in case someone didn't saw the original guide, the first part, you don't need to see that guide to understand this part. And that will be all. I know the intro was kind of long, but it is what it is. I improvised these things, so I don't have a script. That's why this is all so messy. But anyway, thanks for hearing my awful voice, and I guess enjoy the combats or whatever. I don't know, and maybe you get uh, convinced that this character might be worth the upgrades if you're seeing a guide about this character. So yeah, with everything said, until the next guide or next time, I don't know when it's gonna be, but yeah, until then.
もっと願いを 気をつけて。不用意にスイッチを押すと身の安全は保証できない。
それがしの頑張りがようやく役に立つ日が来るでござる。ファンならアイドルと距離を取るべきでありんす。
置起動。カウントダウン。10、9、8、7。頭に血が昇るファンにはお仕置きをしなければなりんせんね。
本当に僕でいいですか？じゃあ元気でいてください。
ワイズ様。
ひざまずいてもっと熱狂を。そうね。おや。アンコール？仕方ありんせんね。
And that is the best case scenario you can get with this team. You stun everyone, then you put speed down on everyone with Mare after stunning with Victim, and then you throw everyone's turn meter back using Shalltear. And you can get this result. This is the best case scenario. No one in the enemy team plays, and you can kill them one by one.